Welcome to Happiest Places Home, the interior design channel. If you're into interior design, you'll love it here. I'm Suzanne, an interior designer, and I've shopped at 3 different Walmart supercenters to find you the best of Walmart's 2025 Christmas collection. I organized these pieces into decorating themes so you can see how they work in harmony and would create a cohesive design. When so much holiday merchandise is released all at once, it can be overwhelming, so I'm here to try to make that easier for you. Make sure you tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. for my holiday tree decorating demonstration video. All right, let's start shopping. I called our first look Woodland Wonder, and it's comprised of things that exist in the forest, wood, of course, as a material, and things that look earthy. The first 2 pieces I'll recommend are these wood village houses. Now, this isn't the beginning of a village collection or anything. They're strictly decorative pieces that would be paired beautifully with other things that you'll see coming up. And these are pretty, sizable. The tallest one is 9 1/4 inches. It's only $10.43. And then the smaller one is 7 inches high. It's $8.43. These will look great styled with some of these other pieces coming up. The tone of the wood on this natural nutcracker looks identical to those houses, so this would be really ideal to style with it. So this guy is 8 inches tall. It's $6.53. Now, this little fellow has an older brother, or let's say uncle, since it's a nutcracker, if you know the story. Anyway, this one is 16 inches tall, and it's $14.36. And you can see the wood just looks slightly different, but barely. So getting these 2 with those houses would be great. But I have an even larger wood decorative piece for you. Here is a drummer boy rather than a nutcracker. It's 23.5 inches tall. This is actually priced at $39, even though it looks like it's less on that tag. That might be associated with something else, or maybe in store it's cheaper, or maybe my price is wrong, but I found this one online to be sure. This tree would look excellent with any of those wood pieces. It's $12.58. It's about 1 foot high. But I realized what happened on those drummer boys and their price. There was a large tree, which now I'm showing you behind those drummer boys. That tree is $24.96, and it's 23.5 inches tall. So getting both of these trees might be a great idea, don't you think? These candle holders would look nice, let's say, in the same household or maybe the same room, but not styled with the other pieces that I just showed you. Now, one of the reasons why this stands out to me is it does remind me a lot of a Pottery Barn piece of ceramic that is very new this year. It's forest trees that are decorated around the sides of it's like half plate, half bowl, but it's the type of thing that you can 100% recreate yourself at a ceramic studio. In fact, it's a common piece that you can make at a ceramic studio. In this case, it would be a lot harder to do yourself, but it's the same idea. You've got like the little container, and then you have these beautiful antlers stuck on the side. And so the larger one is for a pillar candle. The smaller one is supposed to be for a votive candle. The taller one is 5 inches and 1/4. It's $5.84. And then the smaller one is 2 inches and 3/4. It's $2.44. And I think these are well worth getting. And you can see, if, like I said about the other items, you kind of should get both if you're going to get one, but you do whatever you want. This is definitely a favorite of a lot of people. It's a swag. It's 28 inches long. Even though I'm saying it's 28 inches long, it's counting from that holder, I guess, because it's much smaller than it looks on camera. I just want to warn you of that. But it's $24.97. I think it's well worth it. I love that frosted look on the pine. I like that it has a variety of pine. The bells are always beautiful. I like that people are using more traditional bells this year. And I like that brown ribbon. So all around, a really beautiful piece. Of all of the ornaments at Walmart right now, this is my number one pick, 100% my favorite. So all of the ornaments pretty much, some are a little different, are $2.14. This is 4.5 inches tall and just fabulous with that biscuity look on the bottom and the golden top. I think it's perfection. Mixing up textures on your tree is a great idea. So here's another matte piece that you can achieve that with. It would look great paired with that acorn, separated on the tree. But if you have a lot of shiny ornaments, bringing a little bit of matte, whether it's with ribbon or ornaments, is a good idea. I like the sweater looking tree skirt that looks like a cardigan. That one's $25. The more expensive one on the left is the fur. It's $42. That looks very, it looks perfect with the theme if you were going with this theme. And I would say if Restoration Hardware made tree skirts, seems like they would have been making this one this year and for the last few years. But if you want that furry taupe look, by the way, the taupe color is beautiful. Then you could do it instead, if you didn't have the budget, with this stocking, because the stocking is only $9.64. And they do have some other fur stockings that I'm going to show you in a second. So you could kind of get a variety if you wanted to, such as this one. And they're calling it leopard, but I would almost call this a fawn print, like a baby deer. You don't want to think of it as coming off of a baby deer, just as a theme. And this one also is $9.64. This stocking is definitely meant to go with a woodland theme. It's a little on the mauve side, not as much taupe. So this would have to go with a certain color palette. But I think this is well done and so beautiful. They have a matching tree skirt and it's fantastic as well. So, and this tree skirt I think is $14, where a lot of other ones are more expensive than that. And I think it's because of the material and the way that it's folded. This copper hammered tree collar would go wonderfully with this theme. It is bigger than it looks because it's bunched up into 3 pieces instead of 2 the way they normally are. And this one is $19.96. This almost looks like a Victorian Santa with that brown hat, but it definitely goes with our woodland theme because of the coloring. Very cute. All ornaments are $2.14 unless I say otherwise. Now this copper bell is really cute. I'm having trouble getting it to turn around, but those little extra touches on the top, really superb. I love them. So those 2 ornaments, definitely, it's almost like they need to go together. They're meant to be in a relationship. And then this pick, but actually it's a clip-on ornament, is $3.74. And it's taupe, but leaning more toward the tan type of taupe. And it's one of my favorite pieces. If you get this, you're going to need, I would say, 8 or 10 to go all around the tree. You don't want just one of something sometimes, you know what I mean? And then the beautiful poinsettia behind it really needs to go with that, I think. And this is $3.74 as well. With this, I would get like 5 or 6 for a tree. And if you think $3.74 is a little high for either of those things, just remember you might have it for quite some time. Now you're looking at a blanket that I purchased about a month and a half ago, maybe more. I love it. So it's $18.64. It's so soft on both sides. This is a good example if you're decorating with different styles, because my house is contemporary, it's not forest theme. It still works if you coordinate colors. So you can branch out of any kind of category you feel like you're stuck in, as long as you're coordinating your colors. And on the same token, it doesn't have to be the same colors if you have the same theme. Now this is washed very well. It's so soft on both sides and I just love it. It's very cozy. And by the way, it would keep you super warm. But yes, it's held up well in 5 washes so far. Laundry detergent is one of the worst offenders of chemical additives. I've been doing my research and I found a detergent that doesn't have these harsh chemicals. And in fact, I was really trying to find one that doesn't have something that's called an optical brightener. Have you heard of this? It's a brightener that stays on your clothes to make them look brighter. That's crazy. I've been using a new detergent called Earth Breeze. It has no parabens, no phosphates, no bleach, and no optical brighteners. These are just a sheet of detergent that dissolves in your wash. These are shipped to me in a simple envelope. It's recyclable. So now I don't have jugs of laundry detergent around that I have to rinse forever to recycle. I'm not spilling on top of my fun washer here and making a mess. I just love these. They're so simple and great for the environment. I get 60 washes out of this small envelope, and I'm on a repeat service. And if you happen to like the idea of this and you want to give it a shot, my viewers can get 40% off and 4 free gifts. And all of the information is in the description box, but you also see that there is a QR code for your convenience as well. Before we take a look at the next Walmart item, first, let's gaze at that Centerpiece by Pottery Barn on the left. That's new for 2025. It's $139. Very beautiful. Well, Walmart has some pieces that you can use to create this exact same look. Number one, these 2 swaying trees, and they're very inexpensive. So the large one is 12.5 inches high. It's $10.87, okay? And then the smaller one, which is 10 inches and 3/4, is $9.73. Now you could get these along with some of the other pieces coming up and just create your own centerpiece for less. Here is the standing reindeer. It's $14.18. I don't know how tall this one is, I'm sorry, but I think it's about a foot high. There are 2 stag stocking holders. There is this one where the stag is standing and it looks just like the previous piece. It's $7.17. This one is just the head, and it's $11.17. I think they're both really nice, and maybe you could mix and match. You see there is a snowflake in the series. I just didn't pick that as one of my very favorites. If you did paint these black, they could work really well to make that centerpiece because they're taper candle holders. And these are very popular and viral without me even telling you. But there's a small and a large. The small is $4.84 and the large is $5.84. It's 9 inches tall on that large one. So it would have an impact, especially, with your long taper candle in it. Now these are lovely in their own right. They're called brown online, just so you know, but they're actually, gold. It's an antiqued gold. We've entered the bold gold section. These are enormous gold candelabras by My Texas House, Texas size, you see. And the standing one is 20 inches tall, plus a taper candle, let's say an 8-inch, that's half of the size of a person, And it's $45.94 for the standing. It's $38.94 for the sitting. If you get one, you might want to get both. They'll be hard to find in store. These were only in one store that I went to. And, you would decorate around these with a bunch of maybe ornaments with color, like silver, red, or green, and then some other, florals and stuff like that around it on a runner. That would be really pretty. Swirling ribbon throughout those accessories, too, I wanted to mention. That would look nice. While we're remaining in the bold gold section of the video, I wanted to point out that this gold bell is one of my top picks. In fact, I brought it home with me. It's by the brand Holiday Time. It's $12 and change. You can switch out that ribbon to match your own decor, and it actually does ring. Now, it's called a hanging bell, but it's very heavy, so I don't know if you would end up hanging it. I plan to probably put it on a coffee table book on my coffee table. and I love it. It actually rings, and when I got out of the car, it was ringing loudly at 10:30 at night, and I didn't think about how that was going to happen. But here we are with a Pottery Barn alert. For only $2.14, you will get a very Pottery Barn look with this ornament. The designer that works with Pottery Barn, named Monica Lollier, uses a lot of bows in her designs, and gold bows are in abundance. They are too with McGee & Co. But anyway, we're still in the middle of our bold gold section. I just wanted to give you that Pottery Barn alert, and now we'll move to the next item. If you own a mini tree, I have a great idea for you. You can get 24 of these mini icicles or 20 of those snowflakes for $3.94, and they would look gorgeous on a mini tree. So if it were me, I would do, gold icicles and then maybe the silver version of these snowflakes, or vice versa. I did say that everything I'm putting in this video is something I would recommend buying. This is from my Texas house, and in fact, I would paint this, probably like a antiqued bronze, or just go ahead and do the matte black. This one happens to be $22 and change, but that's what I would do with this one, and I do think it's really pretty. Now, these are from holiday time, and same idea. Somehow on certain pieces, the gold is very yellowy. We might say brassy, even though it's not brass. And I would recommend these because they're very affordable. I would probably do it with these, your little project, if you did choose to. And where are my prices on these? There they are. So it's 10 inches tall. On the taller one, it's $9.73. And the more petite one is 8 inches, and it's $8.96. You could see where that's affordable enough to go ahead and consider buying some matte acrylic paint or some spray paint to take care of that. Calling this new section City Sidewalks, and that's because it's a rather contemporary look. However, they don't have to go in a contemporary home. You can kind of mix and match a lot of these pieces based on either the color or the style. Anyway, let's get right to this. This is another one of my favorite items from Walmart's collection. It's from the brand Holiday Time. And as you can see, I just played around with it on my dining table. I definitely had to have these the minute I saw them. And the taller one's 14 3/4 inches. It's $14.36. The smaller one is a foot high, and you can't really call that small, can you? And it's $12.33. So they have a lot of design impact. When you have something this large, it really does make a statement, and that chocolate brown certainly makes a statement. This glass color is, or the glass sheen, can really pick up a lot of different light in the room during the holidays. It will reflect your holiday lights on your tree, of course, but you can fit in that hole in the bottom some fairy lights that are battery operated. And I already have those, and I definitely will do that. I wanted to mention that in this particular store, I visited 3 stores. I think I might have mentioned that in the beginning. This one looks like it has a deceased owl behind it. It fell over. I didn't see when I was filming that was back there. But anyway, this is gorgeous, isn't it? All right, so these silver deer, I think actually would look really good with the brown trees. And I didn't think that at first. Just while I've been playing around with the video and editing, I thought, you know what? They're next to each other in the store. Didn't really think about it, but wow, they look good. All right, so the tall one is 16 inches high, and that's $16.93. The shorter is 12 3/4 inches, and it's $14.33. At first, I did think, what are these all about? I mean, it's a little bright and flashy. But the more I looked at them, the more I was impressed. So You don't have to get the brown trees to make sense of these. I think these are a standalone product and look great. Now, if you did get them though, you might want in another area of your room, I would say the mantle in this case, obviously. The taller nutcracker is $19.77, perhaps could be for the parent, and then the minis could be for the kids. That's $12. There's also a standalone nutcracker that you could just use as tabletop decor. By the way, these have that rustic base, but ignore that. I really think these belong in my city sidewalk section. This tree ornament reminds me of an old-fashioned dinner bell. You could use it as a dinner bell for your holiday dinner. Come and get it. Now this is $2.14, and I think it brings a lot of style even though it's so simple. And for sure, if you got the nutcracker or if you got the deer, you might want to have this in the same vicinity. It's very cute. This round glass ornament that's silver is really beautiful. It's $2.14 like the others. If it was for your tree, I would get several. But if you wanted to do a vignette the way Pottery Barn did, I believe it was last year, you do a woven tray, about 3 of these, a bunch of pine cones, and some votive holders and faux pillar candles on it, and make a beautiful little display for your coffee table. I put this marble, very minimalist snowman in my city sidewalks collection. As you can see, Walmart placed it in with their blue items. I just thought it should go in my city sidewalks collection because of that very sleek shape. Now, when you're dealing with marble, unless you're Michelangelo, you do very simple cuts. So that's why it's done that way, and that's why it's so affordable. This is only $9.73. It's 6 3/4 inches tall, so you're going to want to either pair this with something taller or put it in a very tiny spot. And that's your choice, whether you think you need another marble item in your collection. But I do like this quite a bit. Now we have another piece of marble coming up next. Here's another favorite of mine. It's the green marble tree priced at $14.36. If you are fortunate enough to see it in a store, you'll notice that each tree has its own color variations. And technically, if you could find 3 that are a bit different, you could coordinate them and create, a little scene. Now, one of them or 2 of them might go on a book or something to lift it up so that they're different heights. Going along with the green theme of that tree, I have a few other green pieces for you. Now this is a My Texas House pillow. It's $19 plus, let's call it $20. And it's got these cute little 3 nutcrackers. It has the ruffle look, which is very in. And that fabric, which is chenille, looks very cozy. So I 100% approve. And it's like over the top, like a lot of her things, but also slightly understated in the way that the nutcrackers are almost like line art, just very simple. So I like those. Now, if you were to get that, you might want to also get this pillow of hers, same price, and it's got the 3 embroidered trees, and that's very pretty. If you don't have a lot of white in your design and this would be kind of jarring, then I wouldn't get it. But if you were getting the other pillow and white can fit into your design, well, absolutely yes. Now, the other things that might go along with this are from holiday time, and one of them is that stocking that has green ribbons on it to create a tree, but also that green knit one as well. All of the stockings in that row are $9 plus, just under 10. And I do think that those would work well if you're doing a lot of forest green. That forest green sweater tree skirt is $25 and change, and I think would also look good if you're doing the green. By the way, at Kirkland's, I noticed that they have velvet green ribbons that have the long tail, and you can buy a few of them for about $12, and they're a very elegant look. So if you're doing forest green, you might want to just pop by there and see what's happening with those ribbons. This green glass tree was a standalone, so I guess they don't have different sizes in this, and it's $9.96, well worth it, but hopefully you have some other things to coordinate it with. But when it's green and it's the holidays, I'm sure you have some red pieces that you could, or natural color pieces as well. But anyway, the ribbed look is also very in, as I'm sure you know. There are flocked ornaments in an abundance of sizes and colors. The largest are $7 plus. The smallest are $8.18. So the smaller ones come in a pack of 4. Those jumbos come in a pack of 2. My favorite colors are the taupe, chocolate brown, navy blue, and a deep red, which you'll see later. I guess you could mix and match your colors. I do like some of the other ornaments better, but this flocking trend is going strong, so may as well. So next is another trend, and that is this set of 2 honeycomb angels, but also the set of 3 honeycomb trees. And these were made popular by Zara, I think, but definitely by H&M. And it's the type of decoration that you can fold flat if you don't have a lot of storage room. And it's just kind of fun. To me, these seem like temporary decorations because there's a good chance it's going to go by the wayside eventually. But they do make an impact. And I'm going to show you some photos right after you gaze at these to see how to style them, because West Elm has these and they do a really beautiful job with it. So they put some in a bowl, but then they also use them in a few different sets of other items mixed with them. So why don't we take a look for inspiration and then we'll get to the next product. We know Pottery Barn and Target have gone heavy on the gingerbread theme this year. Walmart didn't choose to. They do have a lot of gingerbread cookie looking ornaments, which I didn't cover, but these glass houses are very interesting. They're gingerbread color, not specifically gingerbread theme, but you know, they kind of look like that. And I put these in a completely separate category called gingerbread, even though they could probably mix in with your forest theme, enchanted forest that I mentioned before, but they don't flow as well with some of the items that I showed you there. So let's let these stand alone. The taller one is about 9 inches tall. It's $7.63. And the petite one is 6 inches tall. It's $5.84. Within the gingerbread theme, I can show you these gingerbread pillows by My Texas House. This is just under $20, and it looks a lot like the Pottery Barn original gingerbread pillow. So does this little guy. So it's kind of something that's been around for a while and not necessarily a super inexpensive price. You can find them cheaper, but these are well done. That candy was also just almost $20. There are several really fun ornaments with a Scandinavian theme. Now these do remind me of Anthropology a little bit, more so the ones that are made of felt, okay? But it's also super Scandinavian, so just ignore the Anthropology if you want. Now these set of paper mache would go beautifully with those. The paper mache are larger than them though, and the box is $8.88, so they would look great with the Scandinavian reindeer. There is a mushroom. There is that Moravian star / snowflake looking one. There is the heart, which probably the heart was my favorite. It also looks very IKEA. And then the tree was over there, and plus this adorable squirrel. Now you see a lot of them together there. I was playing around. I was having a lot of fun on these trips to Walmart. Now, aside from these, there are a few with a red background, like this rocking horse, and then a glittery red one that also have Swedish-looking patterns on them, sort of. So those would fit in well too, but unless you wanted to go with only the cream. But like I said, all of these are $2.14. This ceramic cone tree could also go with that Scandinavian theme, and it's 12 inches high. So sizable, and then it's $12.97. I really like that one, and it does look like it's a finely made ceramic piece to me. Here we have a pair of white deer, and this is the start of our very short section called Winter White. Now this pair of deer is $35.84. The tall standing deer, the height is 15 inches, just to give you an idea of the size. So I do like the collar around their necks. This geometric reindeer head is $21.50. This one has that extremely modern flair because of the geometric nature of it. This sort of carved animal is based on something that's very high-end and expensive. Now, those were trendy a few years ago, but still remain so. So I think you're getting a good deal here if you are interested in a very contemporary holiday look. Now, similarly, we've got this snowman that's ultra modern. It looks to me a lot like modern snowman that CB2 had, and definitely also West Elm, but this is made of an extremely light material, like it's super feather light. We're calling this section Burgundy, and the dark burgundy color is very popular for the holidays and was last year as well. Now this candlestick looks just like depression glass, which was an inexpensive glass sold right after the Second World War. Funds were not abundant, but people still wanted to decorate, and this was a glass that was made very inexpensively, but it was very beautiful and just this gorgeous color red, just like this. So this one, I'm sure the people in the 1940s would say, this is how much? But it's very affordable now. It's $9.74, and it's so pretty. This tree also looks the color of depression glass, but with the effect on it, it's not exactly looking like that, just the candle did. This is 12 inches high and $12 and change. We talked about flocked ornaments and the prices and how they're packaged earlier, but I thought this was a good moment to show you the deep burgundy color that they come in, and I really do like this one. This Scandinavian-esque ornament, the round one, would also look great with all of this dark red. It's a little lighter than the other pieces, and so is the red pepperberry wreath, but it is a pretty deep red on those berries. It's just the bow that would be brighter, so if you wanted to be all deep burgundy, you could put a burgundy ribbon on it. But this would look nice with a green ribbon as well. And how much is that? That is $35.87. This blanket from Mainstays is so much darker in person than it looks on camera. So just understand that I put this in the burgundy section because it was a very rich and deep and luxurious looking burgundy. $22.97. Here is a very tiny toile section. We have the My Texas House toile patterned tree skirt. It's $44.46. This one is 52 inches, so it's nice and wide. It does have those pretty ribbons. Now, this velvet that you're seeing on this, and there's also a stocking with it, in certain lights it looks orangey red, a lighter red, and then in some really good lights it looks a beautiful burgundy. On the tree skirt and this toile stocking, I love it, and it's fine. There is a red stocking that's not my favorite because it does start to look orangey, and you'll see. Now, the stocking is $16.66. And normally with toile, it's French pasture patterns, but this is actually, cabin, reindeer, that sort of thing. Technically, it could have gone in with the forest section, but it didn't because it was a different color, and it does look like toile. This teardrop ornament is really beautiful. I like the blue in this, and I feel like it does look very upscale. There's also a clear version, which is beautiful. I don't think I filmed it, even though I saw it, but that was $214. Now, you already know the prices of the flocking we mentioned before, but this powder blue does go along with several powder blue items. This is a beautiful ornament, and it does look upscale. It's my favorite of the powder blue offerings out of all of them. not just ornaments. So I thought this was very special for $2.14. Now, you know, I already mentioned I do love those navy flocked ornaments if you are a person who has a lot of blue in your home. And this house ornament, I didn't feel like fit into any particular category. I made a friend in the store there, by the way, and that's $2.14. It looks very hearth and hand to me. And then I wanted to show you this carriage because it looks so much like an ornament that I bought in Disney World for about $25 years ago. And it was in a beautiful Cinderella piece of packaging. So this looks like it, $2.14. I mean, it's a bargain if you are a Disney fan. Video, I was putting a nutcracker section, but then I realized the nutcrackers all went somewhere else, so this one could have gone with the bold gold. Sorry, but this one is $16, and it appears that he's 15 inches tall. Okay, I like this one, and it is a little brassy, but it's not as brassy as those other pieces that I showed you that had the reindeer head with the pillar candle holder, etc. So do you like that? I have a few ideas for kids, but it's very brief, and then we're going to get to holiday villages and we're done. But the holiday village will be much more chill. Now, if you did have kids in the room, you may want to pause. So I'll give you time for that. Now, I found this nesting nutcracker where you could place this in a stocking and it could have a surprise in the smallest little guy. Maybe money or something cute like that. So that's one thing. Another thing is this ski slope as a surprise under the tree would be the most fun thing ever because you can put the skiers on it to slide down. And I just think it's very tasteful. Definitely make sure the kids aren't listening for this. If the elf on the shelf does visit your home and maybe you were super into it and buying outfits for the elf as a kindness, well, now Walmart has those, so you could look at them in person and buy them, or of course get them online. There is a rock star, a little pizza delivery man, and all kinds of things there, but the prices weren't listed yet. These were just going on the shelf. The elves were just going on the shelf. Mr. Happiest Place is Home was with me at one of the stores, and if there's something that man can't resist, it is holiday village pieces, because his family puts one together and he tries to find funny things to give them to put in their, you know, clownish things to put in their village. But also we have a nice holiday village that we haven't put out since we have our contemporary home. But while you're looking at this, I did notice that Walmart has a southern country version of village houses and then also a Victorian version. So look on the box as you're perusing these in this video and you'll see which goes with which, but I bet you would be able to tell. But I thought that was interesting. And then they have some really tiny village houses, which probably aren't going to be good for anything, but they're very inexpensive. So if you're dying for a village and you didn't want to pay for a larger piece, they do have the smaller pieces. And he couldn't resist playing with them either, so I'll leave you to the rest of that. If there was anything that you liked in this video and you did think about purchasing it, would you mind using my tags? So they're all listed on the side of the video. If you can't find them, hit more. I get a small commission, and that would be my reward for helping you find some really beautiful things and curating it all for you. And if you do that, thank you very much. Well, I will see you again very soon, and I will tell you on the next video, it should be my holiday tree decorating video, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll see you next Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time.